I want to push back on the most common explanation for procrastination, because it's wrong in a way that keeps people stuck for years using the wrong fix. The common claim: procrastination is a time management or laziness problem. You're simply bad at prioritizing, or you lack discipline, and the fix is a better planner, a stricter schedule, more willpower. Here's the pushback, and it comes directly from procrastination researchers, not just internet wellness culture. Procrastination is now understood primarily as an emotion regulation problem, not a time management problem. You're not avoiding the task itself. You're avoiding the negative emotion that thinking about the task produces: anxiety about doing it imperfectly, boredom, self-doubt, or a vague dread that has nothing to do with the actual difficulty of the task. The evidence for this reframe is fairly compelling. Studies tracking procrastination behavior have found that people procrastinate more on tasks associated with negative emotional states, regardless of the task's actual complexity or time requirement, and that boosting mood in the moment, even briefly, through something unrelated to the task, measurably reduces procrastination on that specific task immediately afterward. If this were purely a scheduling problem, mood wouldn't move the needle at all. It moves the needle constantly, which is strong evidence the actual mechanism is emotional, not logistical. This explains something that pure time management explanations never could: why you can procrastinate on something you genuinely want to do. A better planner doesn't help here, because the problem was never that you didn't know the task needed doing, or that you couldn't find time for it. You've been avoiding the specific, uncomfortable feeling that arises the moment you think about starting, often a fear of doing it imperfectly, or an anxiety that the finished result won't match the version in your head, which paradoxically hits hardest on projects that matter most to you. The nuance worth adding here, because it's easy to overcorrect: this doesn't mean structure and planning are useless. It means they're solving the wrong layer of the problem when used alone. A perfectly organized task list doesn't touch the underlying emotional avoidance driving the procrastination in the first place. It just makes the avoided task easier to see clearly, which for some people actually increases the discomfort rather than resolving it. There's a specific research-backed technique that targets the actual mechanism directly, rather than working around it. The next action, reframe, combined with radically lowering the emotional stakes of starting. Instead of write the report, which triggers the full weight of the finished product's imagined judgment, the actual starting task becomes something almost absurdly small: open the document and write one sentence. The goal isn't productivity theater. It's giving your emotional system a task small enough that it doesn't trigger the avoidance response, because the emotional barrier was never really about the writing itself. It was about the anticipated discomfort of not doing it perfectly, and a single sentence carries almost none of that weight. My verdict: procrastination on things you actually want to do isn't evidence of laziness or poor planning. In a lot of cases, it's evidence that you care enough about the outcome for your brain to flag the task as emotionally risky, which is a strange kind of compliment to the thing you keep avoiding. The fix isn't a better calendar. It's addressing the actual emotional avoidance underneath, one uncomfortably small first step at a time, until the emotional barrier has less to grab onto. There's an additional piece worth naming, because it explains why this pattern often gets worse the more a task matters. The emotional stakes and the procrastination tend to scale together. A task you're indifferent to rarely triggers meaningful avoidance, because there's little emotional risk in doing it imperfectly. A task tied closely to your identity or long-held ambitions carries considerably more emotional weight, which means the avoidance response is often strongest precisely on the projects you'd most want to see through. Recognizing this pattern in the moment, noticing that the intensity of your avoidance is actually tracking with how much you care, not how little, can itself be a useful signal, reframing procrastination from a mysterious personal failing into a fairly predictable response to something that genuinely matters to you.